Thank you very much for having this town hall meeting.
You bet. Why wouldn't I? I mean, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Got a second?
No, go ahead.
There's a second microphone.
I'm a fourth generation Oklahoman. I'm your constituent. I live in Edmond. I grew up in Oklahoma City. And I am from a family of Second Amendment enthusiasts. My father fought in the Second World War, my grandfather in the First. My son did 2 tours in Afghanistan with the Marines. And they believe that the Second Amendment is the most important bulwark against tyranny. But I would argue that it's the First Amendment is the most important bulwark.
Yeah.
They thought of it first, right? So here's my question to you. Donald Trump.
I think all 10 are pretty important.
Donald Trump has tweeted on February the 17th that the fake news media that's failing New York Times, NBC News, ABC, CBS, CNN, etc., is not my enemy, it is the enemy of the American people. So my question to you is 3 parts. 1, do you agree with President Trump that the news media is fake and the enemy of the American people? 2, if not, can we count on you to speak out strongly against President Trump? Which includes the freedom of the press as one of our country's most important protections from tyranny. And number 3, what would you suggest that each one of us can do as individuals to fight against President Trump's assault on the First Amendment?
Here's what I think. We have a marvelous country in that we can do what we're doing just like this tonight. I mean, y'all are filming me, so when I screw up, you can post it on Facebook. Well, I gotta warn you, if you post me on Facebook, you can lose some friends, okay? So be careful. I think it's important.
You're live. You're not posting. You're live.
Good, then I'm live. Are you going to do Snapchat or what is it? Oh, yeah, that's right, because that's like less than a minute or something, isn't it? I'm still learning all about this U-Book and Facetube and all of that stuff. To answer your question, what I think, and you asked me what I think, so here it is. I think we ought to call a truce, both sides. This has gotten nasty.
Yeah.
Hear me out. I listen to you guys, so y'all hear me out. When we begin to reduce each other to name calling, when we begin to reduce each other to stereotypes and groupings, what happens is that we use that as a filter to not listen. And I think that's happening on both sides.
Yeah.
Trump's the name call.
Let's have the dialogue. You asked me my opinion. Now here's the thing. If we don't, and we only stereotype one another, then guess what will happen? Then it doesn't matter what you say. Because you'll have a preconceived notion, your mind will already be made up. In fact, you know, you could even get to the point, like at a meeting like this, you could shut me down and you could say no, and you could keep saying no, and you could raise those cards and you say no, and you're not going to listen to what I have to say. Here's what I found. If we show deference and respect to one another, let me tell you a story. When I was in Kosovo in '99, we had 2 sides that literally were shelling each other's villages and killing one another. I won't tell you the descriptions of the young children and the elderly that were killed in these shellings. We were trying to get them to stop. They couldn't even talk to each other. Why? Because one side said, well, you look like this and your religion is that, and we're not going to talk to one another. And so what had happened, they would not even dialogue. But we found some common ground, and guess what it was? Wheat. It was August. And, you know, we grow up around wheat around here. What happens when those wheat heads start looking like that?
You're in
Yeah,
trouble.
you better get them, right? And so what was happening is, because they would not listen to one another and wouldn't even talk, the wheat was in jeopardy of rotting in the fields. So what we did is we brought them in and we began to try to talk to them and said, look, y'all can have all the differences you want. You can go back to shelling each other later. Let's have a truce for a few weeks and bring in the crops so we don't have starvation on a big scale. And so they had that in common. But then they came up with all the reasons to protest it, and they said, well, but they have the fuel. Well, he has the combines, and it's like, and we've got the security. So I'll tell you what, if you got the combines, we'll get you fuel. You got fuel, we'll get you combines, and then what we'll do is we'll bring the wheat in, and we did. And I tell you that story because these people hated each other. They hated each other to the point of killing one another. We're not there yet. But if we get to the point where we will only listen through our filters, then we won't listen to each other anymore. And that's why I think both sides got to call a truce. It's not helping anybody. Not helping anybody. Okay, I promise this gentleman will go second.
Answer the question.
First Amendment.
Let's show some difference right here.
First Amendment.
Well, you can grade me on the sheet that I didn't answer your question to your adequacy. Yes, sir.
You didn't answer it at all.
First Amendment.
Go ahead and stand. Stand up.
This lady was talking about her heritage.
Yes, sir.
Well, I was born in Frederick, Oklahoma in 1936. I'm 80 years old. I've been through the Depression of the 40s and the 30s, and the things that what the press are doing today, they're lying through their stinking teeth. Yep. Now, I want to say one thing about the TTP. I don't want us to go in with a bunch of other countries and decide how we're going to tax people. If we put a tax on something and they put a tax on us, that's okay. And if it raises the price of their products, I don't have to buy it. So let's take care of Americans first and tax what, when our country was first established for 150 years, we lived on exports. Things that were tariffs, yeah. But now our government lives on us. And I'm tired of it. You were talking about a one-page thing. The government already has a one-page thing. It says, how much did you make? Send it in. and now, so the TTP, I'm against the press lying through their stinking teeth. And just one quick thing. My sister married a Mexican man. I've got 5 nieces and nephews that are Mexican, or half Mexican. And, but we've got to shut down the borders. We've got to shut them down. We cannot continue to have coming across our borders and killing people. And I know that the Mexican people that I went to school with, that I'm friends with, they're good, hard-working people. But we've got to get rid of the gangbangers and those people that are out on the streets killing each other.
Well, thank you, sir. Okay, now, here's an example of 2 completely different opinions on the press situation right there. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a question from this side. And, sir, she's better looking than you, so I'm going to let her